Guys, welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to give you one really simple tip that's going to finally get you unstuck and get you winning in your health, your fitness, any of your life goals. Is going to be absolutely incredible. But before I actually go and talk about that and give you the golden nuggets, I want to talk you through something very exciting that happened this week. So this week, 2 days ago on Wednesday, I launched a brand new program. Okay, I've been working really hard at it behind the scenes for the past month, and it is a brand new program and it is flying off the shelf like hotcakes. It is awesome, and I just want to explain a little bit around what it is. It's basically it's called Lead from the Front Launch. Okay, now the difference between that program and the program that I've run for the past 3 years, Lead from the Front, is effectively a different tiered option of Lead from the Front. So it still gives incredible support, incredible results to people. It actually makes getting support for people incredibly affordable because a lot of people don't actually understand the value of having a coach, because they've never had one before. So it can be incredibly daunting to say have to pay a load of money to something that you've never experienced before. So this offer is effectively a different tiered option for people who would love to get support, they'd love to have a coach, they'd love to see what it's like actually having a coach and having like the support of myself, for example, at an affordable way to get started, so that it removes pressure, removes risk, and allows you to get all of the benefits without stressing out about, oh my God, is this going to work or not? So it's effectively, like a different tiered option inside Lead from the Front, and it's going down a storm at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. I actually launched 8 spaces and 5 have already been taken. Okay, it's been absolutely incredible. So as of recording, there are 3 spaces available, and there's 10 people who literally I had to stop chatting to because I needed to record this episode, who I'm chatting to at the moment. So it's going to sell out, which just shows me, first of all, that is just super exciting. And what I love about it is that it's making support accessible to everyone, okay, which is literally my mission. I want to help more people, so I'm really, really excited by it because I'm using this pay as you progress payment system, which I've never offered before. So if you would like the details, drop me a personal message on Instagram is the best place to find me, at Isaac J. Lewis, and I'll be happy to chat with you and send you over all the details. But there's literally 10 people sat in my inbox at the moment who have reached out and want to do it. So it is going to sell out, and I'm not going to have enough space to take everybody on. The reason I'm capping it is because it is a new program. Okay, I need to make sure that everything is aligned, everything is giving people exactly what they want. So I'm capping it at 8 spaces so that I don't get overwhelmed. Because if you've listened to every episode of the podcast so far, you'll probably know I don't like being overwhelmed. That is a big problem that I've had in the past, and I'm over it. Okay, I am over being overwhelmed, so I'm capping it so that I can make sure that those 8 people get my undivided attention, myself and my team, and get incredible results. I don't know when the next intake will be, but so if you are interested, let me know. You might not be able to get onto this intake if you haven't reached out already, but you will be added to the waiting list if you are interested, and then you'll be on the priority list for when the next intake opens. So doors actually close on that Wednesday, the 8th of May, or when the next 3 spaces have gone, whichever one comes first. And it is going to sell out, which has blown my mind. I'm literally like so excited by that. I've never actually had like a sellout kind of launch before, so it just shows how much it's needed. But anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to cover on that. I don't know when the next intake will be. If you are interested, drop me a little message. Depending on how quick you act, there may be some of those 3 spaces available. If you do miss out on this intake, do not worry, okay? I will add you to the waiting list and you can be top of the priority list for when the next intake opens. So very exciting. I just wanted to kind of let you know that because that's something that's been going on in my world this week and it's been keeping me busy, that's for sure. So anyway, enough of that. I want to give you the goods. So today I want to give you one really simple, actionable and effective tip to get you unstuck, to stop you feeling overwhelmed, to stop you spinning your wheels, and to finally get you making progress with your health, your fitness, any life goals that you are currently working towards. So in order to do that, I do want to tell you a little story, okay? Now, I'm just going to have some water because I always get very excited when I'm talking. So, story time. I always thought that wanting to achieve a goal was enough, okay? I always thought just because I was thinking about it and I said, I want to achieve that, I thought that was enough and I would definitely get there just because I even had the thought of thinking I was capable of doing it. And at first I did this with training. I've always been a skinny guy, okay? I've always been small and very lean, not particularly muscular. I'm not exactly Ronnie Coleman now, but I like to think I'm in decent shape, okay? And I have put on a lot of muscle over the years relative to where I started. So at first I did it with training. Then I did this exact thing with my business, okay? I basically was, and with training as well, before I go on to that, with training, I used to go onto YouTube, watch every single YouTube video I could find, read every article I could find on bodybuilding.com, on T Nation, YouTube, influencers, all of that. And I used to try and piece together every single thing they were saying, all from these different, sources, and I overwhelmed myself, okay? So I would try and piece it all together and then ended up feeling overwhelmed. Anyway, didn't learn the lesson, ended up doing exactly the same when I was trying to start my business. And again, when you start a business, you don't ever have any money. So I was trying, it's understandable why I wanted to grab everything that was free. So free podcasts, free email, like opt-in lead magnets that I downloaded from people, everything like that, free social media content. I used to consume every single bit of it, all from different sources. And then I would try and piece it all together on my own and end up feeling incredibly overwhelmed. And it left me feeling stuck for years. Okay, I was spinning my wheels. I was putting in so much effort. It was ridiculous, but it just wasn't aligned. And I was spinning my wheels. I was getting nowhere, and I never could really stick to something long enough either to know whether or not it actually worked, because I had no reassurance from anyone because I was doing it all on my own. I had no reassurance and didn't know if I was doing the right thing. So I would change things constantly as well. I would never stick at anything long enough to actually get any results. And the big problem that I realized it was, and actually I was chatting to a member of my team this morning, and I was chatting to them, and this kind of inspired this conversation that I'm talking about now, is I understood the principles of what I was trying to achieve, but I never understood what that actually looked like for me in my life. Okay, I want to repeat that. I understood the ideas and the principles they were talking about. It was like they would say things like, oh yeah, of course, well that makes sense. But I never could take that idea and actually place it into my life, into my weekly schedule, and understand what action that looked like me taking on a daily basis. There was a massive disconnect there between the idea and the principle and me actually going and doing it. It was kind of like, if I could sum it up in a phrase, I would listen to something and then kind of say to myself, well, yeah, that sounds good, I get that, but what do I do in my situation? That was the kind of general feel that I had. And this is really important, guys. This is, probably quite a short episode compared to the other ones, but in order for you to finally move forward, you need specific action steps. Okay, not ideas, action steps. Okay, it's the whole, an idea is something like this: eat less, move more. Okay, that is an idea, that is a principle that we all know is, if you can do that, is going to help you lose weight and lose body fat. Eat more fruit and veg. Okay, strength train often. Okay, these are all ideas. These are all fundamental sound principles that, are based on knowledge and like truth. But why don't people do it? Okay, why do people not actually do it? Because it is taking these ideas and principles and turning them into specific action steps that you can literally tick off in your life and make sense in your world. That is the thing. Any idea like that, if you cannot distill that down onto literally like a post-it with a little box and the specific action step that you could just take that post-it, go and do and tick off as you go, if you cannot do that, you don't have an action plan. That is not action steps. Those are ideas. Okay, ideas are great at the start, but if you never turn them into action, that will keep you stuck. Okay, that is so important to understand. It's like, I hear this all the time. I need to eat less chocolate. That is not an action step. Okay, how are you going to do that? Well, just eat less. That is not an action step. You are deluded if you think that is actually going to help you. Okay, how many times have you tried to, I just need to eat less chocolate, and it's actually worked long term? Instead of that, an action step, taking that idea of I'm going to eat less chocolate, or I need to eat less chocolate, to turn that into an action step, we need something that's more specific, that's very simple, that you can actually go and do and tick off. So it could be, I'm going to buy individually wrapped chocolate bars and have a maximum of 1 per day. Right, that is an action step. And you may look at that and be like, Isaac, why are you promoting eating chocolate? Because I'm real, because I'm a human. And I've actually used this specific action step with one of my clients recently who's a chocoholic all their life, and this is working incredibly well. They are absolutely thriving. They are enjoying their nutrition. They are feeling positive. They're seeing changes in the gym. They're seeing changes in their physique. They are feeling good about the choices they are making. Okay? I'm real. I'm not about just ridiculously cutting out any morsel of joy in your life. What's the point? Okay, what is the point in that? But hopefully you can see the difference between the idea and principle and the action step. You take something that's very vague and you turn it into something that's very specific, very measurable, and you can just tick off on a to-do list. If you cannot do that, then you haven't got an action plan and you haven't got an action step. Action steps remove thinking and they make your life easier. Obviously, there's the initial thought investment at the start in creating it, whether or not you're creating it yourself or whether or not you're creating it with the support of someone else, like a coach, for example. But once you've got the action steps, they make your life so much easier. That's the whole benefit of doing it. It removes thinking for you. And every idea you have, you need to be able to shrink it down, turn it into a specific action step that you could tick off. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck. And here is where so many people stay stuck, is they think about the idea. As I said at the start, guys, thinking about something is not enough to actually see any change. If anything, it is one of the most dangerous places to be, because thinking about, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, or I'm going to start looking at my nutrition on Monday, thinking about it makes it feel like you're actually doing something when you're not doing anything. I appreciate that is coming across quite strong and probably harsh. I understand there is a contemplation phase. There's a pre-contemplation phase before you do anything where you kind of aren't even thinking about it. Something will then happen. There is then a contemplation phase where you are thinking, should I do it? And I'm not saying you need to skip that part. It's good to think about stuff, but we need to shrink that part, because all of the time, some people, myself, I'm literally using myself as an example. For years of my life, I contemplated and thought about starting a business. I thought about doing X, Y, and Z with my training. I thought about doing X, Y, Z with my nutrition. Okay, but because I thought about it, it kind of feels good. And then you think that's enough, but nothing's actually changing. That's what I'm really trying to get across here. So the take home from this, guys, is that you need to take the idea of what you're thinking about, whether it's, I need to eat less chocolate, I need to drink less, I need to make some changes with my planning and diary management, I need to stop saying yes to things. That's another classic one. People are yes men, they don't want to upset other people, and they say yes to too much. I need to stop saying yes to everything and look after myself more. That is an idea, not an action step. How could you turn that into an action step? Well, if someone asks you, you could be like, right, every time someone asks me something, I'm going to change my default answer from yes to, that's great, thanks so much for asking me. I'm going to go check my diary and let you know if I can do that or not. That is an action step. And then you don't say yes to anything until you've had time and headspace to actually think about what you have going on, what you want to do, and whether or not it's actually worth going to do. That is an action step. Okay, I hope you can kind of see the difference there, and actually how much easier that is going to be for you to go and follow. If you can do that, guys, if you can learn how to take the idea and the principle and turn it into an action step and go and do it with speed, okay, you're going to get incredible results. Okay, you're going to build up momentum, and that is so, so powerful. It's also quite hard to do. Like, I appreciate if you're hearing this and you're listening to a podcast, like, I would never expect you to just be able to go and do it just from hearing me talk about it on a podcast. If you can, fantastic. But this is where actually having support in doing it helps. Because, for example, like the opportunity that I mentioned at the start of the podcast around Lead from the Front launch that I've currently got going on, having myself and my team do this with you, and in some cases for you, removes the thinking so that you can literally just spend your time doing the training, doing the nutrition, not thinking about it, not overthinking it and second guessing yourself all the time. And you can enjoy your life. You can go and see your friends knowing you've already got all bases covered. You can be present with your friends when you're going out because you've done all the thinking. You can just be and stop doing all the time. You know, that's the benefit. So if you're thinking about that and you're finding it difficult to turn it into action steps, that is exactly where I come in. Okay, that is where Lead from the Front comes in. So if you would like a hand with that, doors are currently open. Okay, like I said, there are, as of recording this, there are 3 spaces left, and the doors are closing on Wednesday, the 8th of May, or when those next 3 spaces are gone. Okay, once they're gone, they are gone. So if you would like a hand with that, let me know, and I can have a chat with you and send over all the details, because it might be exactly what you need, especially if you find this podcast useful. So I hope you found that useful, guys. Take your ideas and turn it into action steps. Think about, what does that look like in my life? Get your calendar up and literally put it in and be like, okay, what would that look like? When you start going through the process of that, you're going to be like, oh, well, that's not going to work because I'm actually in the wrong place to do that. And you can really start to make sense of these things around, what does that idea look like for you, which is very, very powerful. And it's going to allow you to get great results and not feel overwhelmed for the rest of your life. So, hope you found that useful, guys. You know where I am if that opportunity interests you. And I'll see you on the next episode.